Hey, welcome back to Faith and Future Reinvention Podcast. I am Dr. Kay Hadley, your Faith and Future Reinvention Architect. And today's podcast is dedicated to you. It is a wellness checkpoint to reset, to refocus, and to realign. Now, I want you to take a moment and just breathe. Inhale and exhale. All right, that alone should give you a release, right? Or some relief of whatever you've been feeling lately. Now, this podcast is not a push forward episode, it is a pause and check in moment. Because reinvention is not just about momentum, it's also about mental wellness, reflection, and restoration. So, pause. And let me ask you a question. How are you really feeling right now? How do you feel? You've been doing the work and you've been reflecting, you've been learning, you've been trying new things, and you've been trying to think differently, right? To transform those negative thoughts, those seeds of thoughts into positive thinking, and then seeing the manifestation of those seeded positive thoughts, right? So that's a lot of work, right? Especially when your mind is conditioned, I should say, to thinking a certain way repetitively over and over and over and over and over again, each and every day. And now you're trying to redirect those thoughts accordingly. And it could be exhausting, really trying to stay on top of being intentional, doing that intentional work, right? So maybe lately the momentum has slowed down, right? You were hyped. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm learning new things. I'm trying new things. And, you know, things from this point on, you want to do things differently. You want to see different results, not doing the same thing over and over again as you were doing in the past and in past seasons, but really doing something new to propel, I should say, forward, right? Into a new season that you're going to see the manifestation of those things that you want in your life that's of value to you. Maybe though you feel stuck right now. You might feel a little stuck, you might feel a little tired and uncertain, and sometimes you're questioning yourself. And I know that this is a real thing because I experience it in every season where I get to a point where I'm doing the work and I'll see progress and the Lord will show me things and I'll be so excited about it. Like the Lord is really bringing things to light to me and He's showing me a better way of thinking, a better way of doing, and also how I see things, helping me to prioritize, I should say, my values. What's really important in this day, in my life, in this time in my life, should I say, in this season of my life. And sometimes I ask the question, even though I see results, I will say, am I making progress at all? Or how long is this going to take? Is this you? Let me say this clearly to you. Slowing down does not mean that you've stopped, all right? Feeling stuck does not mean that you are failing. It might feel that way because you're not moving as fast and something has got you offline, I should say. I don't know if it was something that influenced you through TV, maybe it was the news, maybe it was something that somebody said to you. Whatever it was, it actually just took you off track. That can easily happen when we take our eyes off of what's important, right? It can easily happen, especially if somebody you shared it could have been a friend, because you're so excited. You want to share with someone what you're doing, right? That's different and you feel good about it. And they throw a monkey wrench in there, right? And throw you off track. You don't need to be doing all that. Why are you doing all that? Blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, you're offline and you're feeling a little bummed out, All right. But I want to tell you, you're not failing and it's okay to stop. All right. Because in these moments, it often means that you're in a moment that requires what? Realignment. So when you get offline, you want to get realigned. All right. This is not about pressure. And we might ask the question, why does this happen? I think it happens in every season. I think part of the process where we'll pause and we'll slow down and we'll question ourselves, question the progress, question what we're doing. Is it making a difference? All those things. The excitement wears off. You're really getting into the depth of the work, right? And it don't feel good, right? And so that might add to the way you're feeling right now. All right. So the excitement wears off. The results are not immediate. We're not seeing immediate result like a microwave. Psh, I want it all to happen right now, but it takes time because it is a process. Indeed. So while you're going through the process, you're in it. Um, you can feel, you can have all these different emotions. Your mind will begin to ask questions like, is this working? Should I keep going? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And surely that is a real thing, right? Right now, I am studying for another certification, and I'm just up wee early of the morning. I'm going to bed really, really late because, I have to work in between. And so definitely have to report to work each and every day. But it gets tiresome because I put work in just about every day, except one day I do have a rest day, a Sabbath day, every week that I make sure that I execute because it's very important. Because if not, I will completely burn out if I don't have my Sabbath day, my day of rest. But I'm studying for a certification and I'm doing my self work, plus, reinvention, thinking about, you know, everything that I want to see manifest in my life. It's going to take work. It takes sacrifice. Even those days when you don't want to, you have to continue to press and keep your eyes on those goals, that vision that God has given you. You have to keep your eyes on that and you have to keep pushing forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're exhausted, even when it takes so much of your time to put the work in to learn, to upskill. Like I said, I'm trying to get a certification, another one, and I'm prepping for that so that when I do take the exam, I want to pass on the first try. That is my goal, right? But it can feel as if maybe it's so much information, there's so much knowledge to absorb that, my mind will throw a thought out there like maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe you're too old to be going through all of this, trying to learn all these new things. Your mind will do that to you. Okay. So taking a pause, a wellness check is so very, very important. All right. This is where, mental wellness matters most, I think, because how we respond in this moment determines whether we will reset or retreat. I will say that again because you should be tweeting it as well. How we respond in this moment of feeling a little icky, the momentum's died down and I'm just not feeling I'm making much progress. When you are in that moment where you've slowed down, basically you're either going to reset, okay? Once you fall off alignment, you're going to realign, or you're going to retreat. So reset or retreat. Reset or retreat. Which one do you feel like you're moving towards? Realignment, resetting, or retreating? And I pray that you're going to reset and you don't give up because this is all a part of the process. All right. Well, instead of pushing really, really hard, you can just reset gently. How about that? I know you've been going hard, 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 hard. And now just slow down, give yourself permission to pause, and then reset slowly. So maybe a little by little, maybe you're not doing as much. Maybe you'll take, instead of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you'll do something on Monday, something on Wednesday, and something on Friday, right? Towards your goal, whatever it is that you're working on. And then try to increase that the following week if you need to, or if you need to stay on a schedule that's less, that's fine. Okay. I want you to know that. I just don't want you to stop progress. So resetting gently, we talked about that. Take a breath. You don't need to fix everything today. All right. And I love that wisdom right there. It's wisdom I practice in my spiritual daily practice, is that if, I'm trying to do so many different things between the podcast and AM Devotion, which is my devotional ministry. And then I have AI, real estate consultant. It is in the back of my mind how I want to progress forward with that. And I also have a full-time job as a project manager. So a lot going on with me as far as staying relevant, making sure that I'm putting my best foot forward at work, and make sure that I'm getting results there. Is very important for me to do a great job on my job. And really with anything that I do, I like to work in excellence. It is just who I am, right? So I'll give it all that I got, but I have to also do these checkpoints where I might have so many things scheduled in one day that I want to try to make sure that I touch upon. But follow the wisdom of the Holy Spirit will give me that nudge and say, okay, you don't have to do all this tonight. So, what you can focus on tonight is just your podcast, because I had a list of things. And after that, just take it down, take a shower, and then really just meditate before I go to bed and just allow my body, my mind to just rest. All right. And then tomorrow I'll get up a little bit early and I'll work on something else. And then I plan to take a break. And then there is another certification I'm working on as well, another AI certification. So I planned on doing maybe an hour or two of homework tomorrow for that. So little by little, and then Sunday will definitely be my Sabbath day. All right. So you got to know when you need to pause, and you don't need to do it all in one day, and you don't need to fix everything. Right? Maybe for someone out there who's listening, I gotta fix dinner. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta run the kids here. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. And you have to take a pause. Like, where can I either streamline things, or, so to speak, kill two birds with one stone? Meaning, if you can do two things at one time, that's great. Maybe you're going to take the kids to some type of sports practice. And while you're out there, you have your ear pods on and you have your phone, and maybe you're going to click over and you're going to listen to a training on YouTube while your kids is on the field, right? Kind of just finding different ways strategically to get some upskilling and some time in, and at the same time be able to be present for your children, if that makes sense, right? Or whatever it is that you're doing. I'm just trying to give you an example, but you can put in the chat at any time. Let me know what you're doing to help streamline and what makes sense. Another thing, when we have families, we have to cook these meals. Oftentimes, I will do most of my cooking either on a Saturday, on a Sunday, and it will be enough for a few days. I'm grateful because my family loves leftovers, which is a good thing. So I can just, prepare a meal and it's enough for a few days and my family will go at it with that. So that helps me. And on those days I don't have to cook, guess what? I use that time to what? Work on reinvention. All right. I know I went on a tantrum there, but it's important that you reconnect with yourself when you have these moments when you slow down because you want to realign. So I want to give you 4 simple steps to reset and realign. All right. Number one, I want you to pause without judgment. All right. Give yourself permission to pause. It's okay to pause. And pausing doesn't mean that you quit, um, and you don't avoid, right? But you're going to breathe and you're going to observe and you're going to ask yourself, what do I need right now? All right. Got it? So again, number one, pause without judgment. No judgment zone here. If you need to pause, please pause. All right. Number 2, return to one small step. All right. So how you get back to realignment is, taking one small step. And maybe that might be, hey, I'm just going to look at my vision board and align what I have there on the vision board. And maybe what is it can I do that will keep the ball or the momentum going? So it might be making a call, doing some research, finding out information that you need that's going to help you in your reinvention. Every little bit helps. And maybe that small step is, okay, I might do research instead of, a couple hours. I'll take maybe 15 to 30 minutes and just jot down what I have there and kind of meditate on that. And that's it, right? That's a small step. It's not quitting. It's not a whole bunch, but it just enough so that you can feel like you're on track. You're back on, you're resetting, you're realigning, all right, with your vision, which is awesome. So when everything feels overwhelming, shrink the focus. What is one thing can you do today? Okay. Think about that. Not 10 things, not a full plan, just one step. All right. Momentum rebuilds through simplicity. Number 3, reconnect with your why. Just remember why you're doing this, why reinvention is important right now in the season that you're in. Reconnect with that reason. Why did you start this journey? And why, or I would say, what were you hoping to change? What were you believing for? And your why is your anchor when motivation fades. I will say that. Your why is your anchor when motivation fades. Got it? And then number 4, renew your mind gently. All right. Be mindful of your thoughts during the season. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, say, I'm in a moment of recalibration. Instead of saying, I'm falling off track, I want you to say, I'm finding my way forward again. Words matter, okay? Thoughts matter. They shape your experience. Remember, we talked those trains of thoughts and being able to change the way we think. So what we think, we speak, and then our actions follow. So that's why we have to be intentional about what we're thinking about. We know that mental wellness is very, very important. So let's be honest. Reinvention can feel heavy at times because oftentimes we're letting go of the old way of thinking. Stepping into the unknown, of course, is a big thing, and rebuilding confidence, creating something new. So that requires emotional energy. Mental wellness is not optional in this journey, right? It is essential because you don't want to have to rush your growth. You don't want to have to compare your timeline, and you don't want to have everything figured out. You just have to stay connected to what? Your process. All right. So I just want to kick a couple questions around that I received earlier, and I'm going to share it with you. One of the questions was, why do I feel stuck even though I've been doing the work? All right, let's think about that. And that's a good question. Well, growth is not always visible immediately, right? Sometimes progress is happening internally before it shows externally. So, what you and I have to do is just trust the process. The second question I received was, how do I stay consistent when I feel unmotivated? That is a good question. Consistency, I would say, my friend, is not built on motivation. It's built on commitment to small steps. Focus on manageable actions and not perfect energy, if that makes sense. And then our last question of the day is, what if I've lost momentum completely? I can't reset. I'm not able to get back on track. I can't find that emotional energy. I just feel kind of just dead. I just feel like cold, right? Stop dead in my track. Well, that's a good question, right? Well, momentum can always be rebuilt, my friend. You just have to start with small steps. One step today creates movement for tomorrow. One small step creates movement for tomorrow. You just got to remember, my friend, to pause, give yourself permission to pause. Take a moment and ask yourself, where am I emotionally right now? What do I need in this season? Do I need rest? Do I need clarity? Do I need action? What is one small step I can take today to move forward? Remember, reinvention is not a race. It's a process. There will be moments of momentum and moments of pause. It's all a part of the process. Both are necessary. Honor where you are today. It's okay. And give yourself grace. And trust that even in quiet moments, you are still becoming. Manifestation is right in front of you. Keep going, taking those baby steps, and I would say reset and realign accordingly. Believe in your reinvention. Why? Because your unique time capsule is still unfolding. Please remember to like and share this podcast with others. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to our next podcast in 2 weeks. Take care.